My wonderful friends, let me welcome you into a journey where the power of your own mind becomes your greatest tool for success. Every achievement you see in the world, whether in business, sports, or personal life, started first inside the brain. Before a champion ever wins a race, he has already run it thousands of times in his mind. Before an entrepreneur builds an empire, she has already imagined it in her thoughts. That is the secret many people overlook. The brain is like a muscle, and when you train it with the right habits, it can carry you to heights you never dreamed possible. Now, the truth is, life is not always easy. We face obstacles, doubts, failures, and moments when everything seems impossible. But the difference between those who give up and those who rise is not talent alone. It is the mindset they carry. A trained brain refuses to quit, sees possibilities and problems, and creates solutions when others see dead ends. In this video, we are going to explore 10 powerful ways to train your brain to win, not just in one area of life, but in every challenge you face. These are simple yet life-changing practices that anyone can apply, no matter their age or background. So open your heart, sharpen your focus, and get ready, because once you learn how to guide your thoughts, your actions will follow, and victory will become your natural destination. Point 1. The power of believing in yourself. My dear friends, the very first step in training your brain to win begins with belief. Belief is not just a word, it is the invisible force that can either push you forward or hold you back. Think about it. Every single person who has ever achieved something extraordinary started by believing that they could. If your mind whispers, "I can't," then your actions will always follow that weakness. But if your mind insists, "I can and I will," then even the hardest road becomes walkable. Training your brain to win is like planting seeds in a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt, you will harvest failure. But if you plant seeds of belief, you will harvest victory. Let me share with you the story of Oprah Winfrey. She grew up in poverty, faced abuse, and was told repeatedly that her dreams were impossible. Imagine being a young girl with so many struggles and almost no one to support you. Most people would have given up, but Oprah believed she was meant for something greater. She trained her brain to hold on to that belief even when the world told her otherwise. Today, she is not only one of the most successful women in media, but also one of the most inspiring figures alive. What made the difference? It wasn't luck, it wasn't money, it was belief. Sometimes people confuse belief with arrogance, but belief is not about pretending you are better than others. It is about trusting yourself to keep moving forward, even if you fail 10 times in a row. Failure will visit you, that's certain. But belief tells you that failure is just a teacher, not the end. When you train your brain to believe in yourself, you give yourself permission to rise again and again until you win. Think about Michael Jordan, widely considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time. When he was young, he didn't even make the cut for his high school basketball team. Many kids would have quit right there thinking, "Maybe I'm not good enough." But Jordan believed he had what it takes. He turned that disappointment into fuel, trained harder than ever, and proved himself. That belief didn't just create a career, it created a legend. Your brain is like a GPS. If you believe you are destined to lose, your brain will find every possible excuse to confirm it. But if you believe you are meant to win, your brain will search for solutions, ideas, and ways to get there. That's why training your brain to believe in yourself is the very foundation of success. You cannot build a strong house on weak soil, and you cannot build a winning life on a doubtful mind. Now, I want you to ask yourself this. How many times have you stopped chasing a dream because you thought you couldn't do it? Was it really impossible, or did your lack of belief stop you? Point 2, discipline turns dreams into reality. If belief is the foundation of winning, then discipline is the bridge that carries you from vision to victory. You can have the strongest belief in the world, but without discipline, belief becomes nothing more than a wish, Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is about showing up consistently day after day when the excitement fades, when the applause is gone, and when nobody is watching. The truth is, winners are not built in moments of glory. They are built in the quiet hours of practice, sacrifice, and persistence. Take the story of Serena Williams, one of the greatest tennis players in history. She was not born with trophies in her hands. From a very young age, she trained relentlessly, often practicing on cracked courts under the hot sun. While other kids were playing or relaxing, Serena and her sister Venus were pushing through hours of tough practice, guided by their father. Discipline made her wake up early. Discipline made her repeat the same swing thousands of times, and discipline kept her strong even after losses. People see her championships and think it's all talent. But behind that success is a lifetime of discipline. Without that, her dreams would have remained dreams. Discipline is like a muscle. You must train it. Think of your brain as an athlete. The more you practice discipline, the stronger it gets. For example, if you decide to read for 30 minutes every day, at first your brain will resist. It will say, "I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow." But the moment you train your brain to ignore that voice and stick to your plan, you are strengthening discipline. Slowly it becomes a natural part of you. Suddenly doing the hard things becomes easier because your brain is conditioned to choose effort over excuses. Another powerful story comes from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Before he became a world-famous actor and wrestler, he faced rejection and failure. But one thing he never abandoned was discipline. He was always the first to show up at the gym and the last to leave. Even when he didn't know if Hollywood would accept him, he trained, prepared, and disciplined himself as though success was guaranteed. That discipline paid off. Today, he is admired not only for his talent, but for his work ethic, which inspires millions. His brain was trained to push forward regardless of mood or circumstance. We all love motivation because it feels good. It gives us energy. But motivation is temporary and discipline is permanent. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. You might feel motivated to wake up early one day, but without discipline, you'll hit the snooze button the next morning. You might feel motivated to start a new project, but without discipline, you'll abandon it halfway. Winners understand that discipline is not about feelings, it's about commitment. You train your brain to follow through on what you decide, no matter how you feel in the moment. Think about this in your own life. Maybe you dream of getting fit, starting a business, writing a book, or improving your skills. Ask yourself, do you rely only on bursts of motivation, or have you built the discipline to continue even when you don't feel inspired? The people who achieve great things are not always the smartest or the most talented. They are simply the most disciplined. They do the small, boring, and difficult things consistently until success becomes inevitable. Discipline also gives you freedom. That might sound strange at first, but it's true. When you discipline yourself to wake up early, you gain more time for your dreams. When you discipline yourself to save money instead of wasting it, you gain financial freedom. When you discipline your brain to focus on growth instead of distraction, you gain a future full of possibilities. Freedom is not the absence of rules. Freedom is the reward of discipline. So, my friends, train your brain to embrace discipline. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you are strengthening your mental muscles. Every time you resist the temptation to quit, you are building a champion's mindset. Remember, success is not one big decision. It is the small daily choices that stack up over time. Now ask yourself, are you letting your feelings control your actions, or are you building the discipline that will carry you to your dreams? Point 3. Focus is the secret weapon of winners. In a world full of noise, distractions, and endless opportunities pulling us in different directions, focus has become one of the rarest and most powerful skills. Training your brain to win is impossible without learning how to focus. Think about it. Your brain is like a beam of light. When it spreads out in every direction, it is weak, but when it is concentrated like a laser, it can cut through steel. The same is true for your thoughts, your time, and your energy. If you scatter them everywhere, you will get small results. But if you direct them with sharp focus, you can achieve extraordinary things. Consider the story of Tiger Woods, one of the greatest golfers the world has ever seen. From a very young age, Tiger displayed a level of focus that amazed coaches and fans. While many children found it hard to concentrate on practice, Tiger could lock in completely on his swing, his stance, and his form. His ability to shut out the world and give his full attention to the game separated him from the rest. Even after setbacks and personal struggles, his intense focus brought him back to win major championships when people doubted he ever could. What does this show? Focus is not just a talent. It is a mental habit you train through discipline and determination. Focus also means learning to say no. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they are distracted by too many things at once. They chase one idea today, another tomorrow, and end up exhausted with nothing to show. Imagine if you planted 10 seeds in a garden, but watered each of them only once a month. None would grow. But if you chose one seed and watered it daily, you would have a healthy plant. Your brain works the same way. When you divide your attention too much, your results stay weak. But when you choose a goal and stay focused, growth becomes inevitable. A perfect example is Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history. He has always emphasized the importance of focus. When asked about the key to success, Buffett explained that most people fail because they try to do too many things. Instead, he kept his focus on a narrow area he understood deeply, investing in businesses with long-term value. While others were distracted by trends, Buffett's focused approach built him one of the greatest fortunes in the world. His brain was trained to ignore noise and keep attention on what truly mattered. Training your brain to focus does not mean you never get distracted. It means you always bring your attention back to what is important. Think of it like training a puppy. At first, your brain will wander, just like a puppy runs everywhere. But with patience, practice, and gentle correction, you can train it to stay where you want. Meditation, writing down priorities, or even simply turning off unnecessary notifications on your phone are ways to strengthen your focus muscle. When you focus, you also enter something called flow. Flow is that magical state when time disappears, your energy feels endless, and you are completely absorbed in what you are doing. Athletes call it being in the zone. Writers, artists, and musicians experience it when their focus is so deep that creativity pours out of them effortlessly. That state of flow only comes when your brain is trained to block distractions and give full attention to the present moment. Ask yourself this: how much of your day is lost in distraction? Do you start working on something meaningful only to get pulled away by social media, television, or unimportant tasks? Imagine what would happen if you could take even 1 hour of deep, focused work every day and dedicate it fully to your dream. Over weeks and months, that level of focus would separate you from most people who waste their hours scattered and unfocused. Focus doesn't just help you win big goals, it also brings peace. When your brain is focused, you feel less stress because you are not constantly juggling too many things. Clarity replaces chaos and productivity replaces procrastination. Winners know that success is not about doing more. It's about focusing on what matters most and doing it better than anyone else. So, my friends, train your brain to master focus. Cut out the distractions, learn to say no to what doesn't serve your dream, and give your best energy to the few things that truly matter. Your focus is your power. And when you sharpen it, you equip yourself with one of the greatest tools for victory. Now reflect for a moment. Are you spreading your energy thin on too many things? Or are you laser focused on the goal that could change your life? Point 4. Resilience, turning setbacks into stepping stones. If you truly want to train your brain to win, you must learn resilience. Resilience is the ability to stand tall after you've been knocked down, to rise again when life tries to bury you. It is not about avoiding problems, because no matter how positive or prepared you are, challenges will come. Instead, resilience is about training your brain to respond with strength instead of surrender. Winners are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who never stay down. Let me share with you the story of Nelson Mandela. For 27 long years, he sat inside a prison cell, cut off from his family, his freedom, and his people. Many would have broken under such pressure, losing hope and surrendering to bitterness. But Mandela trained his mind to stay resilient. He did not let prison destroy his spirit. Instead, he used it as a place to strengthen his vision for a free South Africa. When he was finally released, he did not come out filled with revenge, but with forgiveness and determination. His resilience turned personal pain into a global victory. Today, his story inspires millions, showing that no prison can hold a resilient mind. Resilience is not just for heroes and leaders. It is for everyday people like you and me. Life will test you. Maybe you will fail an exam you worked hard for, lose a job you depended on, or face betrayal from someone you trusted deeply. These moments hurt, and it's natural to feel pain. But the key difference lies in how you respond. A brain trained in resilience says, "This is not the end, this is just a lesson." Instead of asking, "Why me?" resilience asks, "What can I learn from this?" Think of Thomas Paine, the political activist who wrote during America's fight for independence. In one of his writings, he declared, "The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph." That truth has lived on for centuries. Resilience teaches you to see conflict, failure, and obstacles not as final defeats, but as opportunities to grow stronger. There are countless stories of people who found their true strength in moments of struggle. Consider Bethany Hamilton, a surfer who lost her arm in a shark attack at the age of 13. Most people would have quit surfing forever, but Bethany's resilience carried her back into the waves. She trained her mind to see possibility instead of limitation. With only one arm, she competed again. And not only did she surf, she excelled, proving to the world that resilience can turn tragedy into triumph. When you train your brain to become resilient, you begin to see setbacks as stepping stones. A lost job becomes a chance to start something new. A broken relationship becomes a chance to rebuild yourself stronger. A failure becomes a reminder that success is still possible if you don't quit. Resilience shifts your perspective from hopelessness to hope. Your brain, just like your body, adapts to training. The more resilient you practice being, the stronger your mental toughness becomes. It might start with small things, like handling daily stress calmly or refusing to give up on a task when it feels difficult. Each time you refuse to let negativity control you, you are strengthening your resilience muscle. Over time, your brain becomes wired to see challenges, not as walls, but as doors waiting to be opened. Think for a moment about your own life. Have you faced something that felt impossible, but somehow you made it through? That moment is proof that you are more resilient than you think. The fact that you are still standing today means your brain already knows how to survive pain. Now imagine what would happen if you trained it to not only survive, but to thrive in difficulty. Resilience doesn't erase pain, but it transforms it. Winners don't deny their struggles. They use them as fuel. Just like a diamond is formed under extreme pressure, a strong and winning brain is shaped under life's hardest challenges. That is why resilience is not optional. It is essential. So, my friends, if you want to train your brain to win, embrace resilience. Don't fear failure, don't fear rejection, and don't fear pain. Each difficulty is shaping you into the person who can handle success when it arrives. Remember, setbacks are not signals to stop. They are signals to grow. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, when life knocks you down, do you stay down? Or do you rise with resilience and turn your setback into your next stepping stone? Point 5, positive thinking creates powerful outcomes. If resilience helps you rise after a fall, then positive thinking gives you the strength to keep climbing. Training your brain to win requires more than just toughness. It requires the ability to direct your thoughts toward possibility, even when the situation looks dark. Positive thinking is not about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring problems. Instead, it is about choosing to see opportunities where others see obstacles, choosing hope over despair, and choosing to believe that tomorrow can be better than today. Let me share the story of Nick Vujicic, a man born without arms and legs. At first glance, many would think his life was destined for limitation. As a child, he struggled deeply with depression and hopelessness. But something changed when he decided to train his brain to think positively. Instead of focusing on what he didn't have, he began to focus on what he did have: a voice, a mind, and the ability to inspire. Today, Nick is a world-renowned motivational speaker who travels across countries, reminding millions that life without limbs is not a life without purpose. His story proves that positive thinking is not just feel-good talk, it is a force that shapes destinies. Positive thinking affects the way your brain functions. When you think positively, your brain releases chemicals that improve creativity, problem-solving, and energy. On the other hand, negative thinking creates stress, reduces focus, and often paralyzes you from taking action. Winners know that they cannot afford to let negativity control their mind. They protect their thoughts like a treasure because they know thoughts eventually become actions, and actions become results. Take Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer who holds more gold medals than anyone in history. His career was not just about physical strength, it was also about mental strength. Before every race, he would visualize himself swimming perfectly, finishing strong, and standing on the podium. Even when he faced setbacks or disappointments, he trained his brain to think positively. That mindset helped him push past obstacles, stay focused under pressure, and turn his dreams into reality. Without positive thinking, his physical talent alone might not have been enough. Positive thinking also changes the way you see failure. Instead of saying, I failed, so I am not good enough, a positive thinker says, I failed, so I learned something valuable. This shift is what keeps winners moving forward. Life will always bring setbacks, but your response to them depends on the way you train your thoughts. Another inspiring story is that of Malala Yousafzai. As a young girl, she faced threats and violence simply because she wanted an education. After surviving a life-threatening attack, she could have chosen fear and negativity. But Malala chose positive thinking. She believed that her voice could still bring change, not just for herself, but for millions of girls worldwide. Her courage and positivity won her the Nobel Peace Prize and made her a global symbol of hope. This is the power of a brain trained to think positively. It can turn pain into power. Now, some people argue, but isn't positive thinking unrealistic? Life is full of negativity. Here's the truth. Positive thinking is not about ignoring reality. It's about choosing the part of reality that helps you grow. If two people face the same storm, one might say, this storm will destroy me, while the other says, this storm will pass and I will learn to build stronger shelter. Both are experiencing the same situation, but their outcomes will be completely different because of how they train their thoughts. Positive thinking doesn't mean you won't feel sad, angry, or afraid. Those emotions are part of being human. But when you train your brain to think positively, you refuse to stay stuck in those emotions. You allow yourself to feel them, then shift your focus back to hope, strength, and solutions. That is how champions live. They acknowledge the pain, but don't let the pain define their future. So, my friends, I want you to start noticing your thoughts. What kind of words do you speak to yourself every day? Are you saying, I can't, I won't, I'll never make it? Or are you saying, I can, I will, I am capable? Remember, your brain listens to your words and your life follows your thoughts. If you want to win, you must train your brain to think positively no matter how tough the circumstances. Now pause and reflect. When life challenges you, do you let negative thoughts take over? Or do you choose positive thinking that leads you closer to victory? Point 6. The habit of lifelong learning strengthens the brain. One of the most powerful ways to train your brain to win is to never stop learning. Success is not about what you already know. It's about your willingness to keep growing, keep adapting, and keep sharpening your mind. The moment you believe you know it all, your brain begins to stagnate. But when you approach life as a lifelong student, you give your brain fresh energy, fresh ideas, and fresh opportunities to win. Let's look at the story of Leonardo da Vinci. He was not just a painter of masterpieces like the Mona Lisa. He was an inventor, a scientist, an engineer, and even a musician. Why? Because he never stopped learning. He trained his brain to remain curious, to ask questions, and to explore areas beyond his comfort zone. That hunger for knowledge made him one of the greatest minds in history. His life proves that a brain trained to keep learning can create breakthroughs that change the world. In today's world, lifelong learning is more important than ever. Technology is advancing, industries are changing, and new opportunities are constantly emerging. Those who stop learning get left behind, but those who keep learning stay ahead. Take Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft. When he took over leadership, Microsoft was struggling to keep up with innovation. But Nadella emphasized a culture of continuous learning. He encouraged employees to be curious, to take risks, and to keep adapting. This mindset transformed Microsoft into one of the most valuable companies in the world again. His leadership shows that training your brain to learn continuously is not just useful, it is essential for long-term success. Lifelong learning does not always mean formal education. It means being open to growth in any form. It could be reading books, listening to podcasts, taking online courses, observing successful people, or simply reflecting on your own experiences. Every lesson you absorb adds another layer of strength to your brain. The more you learn, the more flexible and creative your thinking becomes. Think about athletes too. Even after reaching the top, they keep learning. New techniques, new strategies, new ways to train their bodies and minds. They understand that the brain, like the body, gets sharper with practice. Without learning, skills fade. With learning, skills expand. That's why the world's best never stop being students. The beauty of learning is that it also makes your brain resilient. When you face failure, a learning mindset asks, what can I take from this? Instead of, why did this happen to me? When you train your brain to learn from mistakes, failures no longer feel final. They become part of your education. Each setback adds wisdom and strength, preparing you for bigger wins in the future. So, my friends, make learning a habit. Read a little every day. Explore something new, ask questions, and seek knowledge wherever you go. The more you feed your brain, the more powerful it becomes. A brain that keeps learning is a brain that never loses. Now reflect. Are you feeding your brain with knowledge that helps you grow? Or are you letting it sit idle while the world keeps moving forward? Point 7. Building mental toughness through consistency. Training your brain to win is not about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do repeatedly. Consistency is the silent force that shapes mental toughness. Think of it this way. A single workout will not make you strong, but showing up every day builds strength. Reading one page won't make you wise, but reading daily grows knowledge. Success is the result of consistent actions, and mental toughness is built when you refuse to stop, even when progress feels slow. Let's consider the story of Stephen King, one of the most successful authors in the world. Early in his career, he faced rejection after rejection. His first novel was turned down by more than 30 publishers. Most people would have quit, but King did something powerful. He stayed consistent. He made a habit of writing every single day, no matter how he felt. That consistency trained his brain to push through discouragement, and eventually his persistence paid off. Today, his books have sold hundreds of millions of copies, inspiring readers across the globe. His journey shows that mental toughness is not magic. It's the product of showing up consistently, no matter the obstacles. Consistency also builds confidence. When you consistently keep promises to yourself, you begin to trust your own strength. Imagine someone who says they will exercise daily but quits after 3 days. Their brain learns that their words cannot be trusted. But when you consistently follow through, your brain builds an identity of reliability. You begin to see yourself as someone who does not quit, and that identity fuels even more strength. Sports provide countless examples of consistency creating champions. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest soccer players in history. While others admired his natural talent, those closest to him know his success comes from his consistent dedication. Long after his teammates left practice, Ronaldo stayed on the field, repeating drills over and over until they became second nature. His brain was trained to embrace consistency, and that is why his skills remained sharp for decades. His story teaches us that greatness is not achieved overnight. It is earned day after day through consistent effort. Consistency doesn't mean you never stumble. It means you always return to the path. There will be days when you feel tired, discouraged, or even hopeless. But consistency says, I will still do something today, even if it's small. Training your brain to win requires understanding that small steps, taken consistently, lead to massive results. The problem is, most people quit too soon. They underestimate the power of repetition. Consider bamboo, one of the fastest growing plants on earth. When it is first planted, nothing seems to happen for years. Underground, the roots are growing strong, but above the ground, you see almost nothing. Then suddenly, within a few weeks, bamboo shoots up rapidly, sometimes growing several feet in a single day. That's how consistency works. At first, you may see no visible results, but beneath the surface, your brain and habits are growing stronger. Then one day, success seems to happen suddenly, but in reality, it was the result of years of consistent work. Training your brain for consistency also means setting realistic expectations. If you set goals that are too big at the start, you may overwhelm yourself. But if you train your brain with small, daily actions, those small wins will build momentum. Over time, those small wins stack up into big victories. Consistency is not about perfection, it's about persistence. So, my friends, remember this. Winners are not created by intensity alone, but by consistency. A brain that is trained to stay the course, to keep moving forward even when motivation fades, becomes unstoppable. Consistency builds habits, habits shape character, and character determines destiny. Now ask yourself, are you waiting for big moments of motivation, or are you training your brain to win through small, consistent actions every single day? Point 8. Embrace challenges to unlock your true potential. Life has a way of testing us, often in ways we never expect. The challenges we face, big or small, are not meant to hold us back. They are designed to reveal the strength that lies within us. Training your brain to win means learning to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. Every difficult situation you encounter is a chance to stretch your limits, sharpen your skills, and discover hidden reserves of courage and creativity that you didn't know existed. The brain, like a muscle, becomes stronger when it is tested. The more challenges you embrace, the more resilient, confident, and capable your mind becomes. Consider the story of J.K. Simmons. Not the actor, but a different inspiring individual who struggled to find a path in his early career. He faced repeated setbacks in his field, struggling to gain recognition for his talent and hard work. Many times doors closed on him, leaving him frustrated and disheartened. But instead of giving up, He approached each challenge as a learning opportunity. He analyzed every failure, asked questions, and refined his approach. Over time, those challenges trained him to think creatively, persist under pressure, and adapt to circumstances that others might have considered impossible. Eventually, his persistence paid off, allowing him to build a successful career and achieve the recognition he once thought was out of reach. His story is proof that challenges, when embraced, can unlock potential we never realized we had. Challenges also teach patience and perseverance. They remind us that success is rarely instant. Think about a student preparing for a difficult exam. The material may seem overwhelming, and the pressure might feel unbearable. But each hour spent studying, each concept learned, and each problem solved builds both knowledge and mental resilience. If the student gives up at the first sign of difficulty, they will never reach their full potential. But if they persist, overcoming obstacles one step at a time, they will develop not just mastery of the subject, but the confidence and mental toughness to tackle future challenges as well. In business, embracing challenges can transform failure into innovation. Consider a small tech entrepreneur whose first app failed to attract users. Instead of quitting, they studied user behavior, sought feedback, and redesigned the product. The challenges forced them to think differently, to solve problems they had never faced before. Eventually, the improved version gained massive popularity. Without the initial difficulties, the entrepreneur might have never discovered a better solution or realized there is true potential for creativity and problem solving. Challenges also build courage. Facing a fear head-on, even something as simple as speaking up in a meeting or trying a new skill, trains the brain to handle discomfort. Over time, your mind becomes more confident, capable, and ready to take on even bigger challenges. The more you expose yourself to controlled challenges, the more your brain rewires itself to respond with courage instead of fear. Remember, challenges are not meant to make you feel defeated. They are invitations to grow. Every time you tackle something difficult, your brain learns, adapts, and becomes stronger. The key is not to avoid challenges, but to face them with curiosity, resilience, and determination. Winners understand that comfort zones are dangerous. They limit growth. The moment you step into discomfort and take on a challenge, you expand your abilities and unlock potential you never knew existed. So, my friends, start looking at challenges differently. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience?" Every challenge contains a hidden lesson, a seed of opportunity, or a stepping stone to your future success. Your brain responds to how you frame these experiences. When you choose growth, your mind becomes stronger, sharper, and more capable of achieving remarkable things. Now reflect. When life throws obstacles your way, do you shy away from them, or do you embrace them as opportunities to unlock your true potential? Point 9. Cultivate discipline to achieve consistent success. Winning consistently is not just about having talent, creativity, or intelligence. It's about discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, even when motivation is low, and even when distractions are pulling you away. Training your brain to win requires creating habits of discipline so that progress becomes a natural result of your daily actions rather than a matter of chance. Take the example of Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks. Schultz grew up in a working-class family and experienced financial struggles early in life. Yet he had a vision of creating a global coffee culture. What set him apart was his discipline. He meticulously studied the market, worked long hours, and made small, consistent decisions that built the company step by step. Even when Starbucks faced setbacks or financial challenges, Schultz maintained the discipline to stick to his strategy, refine it, and keep moving forward. Today, Starbucks is a global brand, a result of years of discipline, focus, and action. Discipline also trains your brain to resist short-term temptations in favor of long-term goals. Imagine an aspiring writer. Every day they must choose between scrolling through social media or writing a few pages of their book. Without discipline, it's easy to choose the instant gratification of distraction. But with disciplined habits, the writer consistently chooses the actions that move them closer to their dream. Over time, these small choices compound, producing results far beyond what luck or talent alone could achieve. Another inspiring example comes from Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Her success didn't come from natural talent alone. It came from the relentless discipline to train for hours every day, maintain strict routines, and push herself even when she was exhausted or injured. That level of commitment built not only physical strength, but also mental toughness. Her brain was trained to persist under pressure, to focus on what mattered most, and to stay consistent in the pursuit of excellence. Discipline also protects your energy and focus. Life is full of distractions, social media, entertainment, and even well-meaning people who can divert your attention. When you cultivate discipline, your brain learns to prioritize, to make intentional decisions, and to stick to routines that foster growth. You don't rely on fleeting motivation or emotional highs. Instead, your habits carry you forward. This is what separates temporary effort from lasting success. Small, consistent actions driven by discipline can lead to extraordinary results. Consider the person who commits to saving a small amount of money each week. It may seem insignificant at first, but over time, those small deposits grow into a significant fund. Similarly, disciplined study, disciplined practice, and disciplined action in any field compound over time, producing results that seem magical to outsiders. But they are the natural outcome of consistent, disciplined effort. Discipline is also closely linked to self-respect. Each time you follow through on your commitments, your brain reinforces the idea that you can trust yourself. You stop being your own obstacle and become your strongest ally. The more you trust yourself, the more confident you become, and the more your brain is trained to win in other areas of life as well. So, my friends, if you want to train your brain to win, embrace discipline as a daily practice. Build habits that support your goals, resist the temptations that lead you astray, and take consistent action no matter how small it seems. Talent, luck, and opportunity are valuable, but without discipline, they are wasted potential. Now reflect. Are your daily actions aligned with your dreams, or are you letting inconsistent habits determine your results? Point 10. Surround yourself with people who elevate you. One of the most powerful ways to train your brain to win is to carefully choose the people you spend time with. The human brain is highly influenced by its environment, and the people around you can either lift you higher or hold you back. Winners understand this and make a conscious effort to surround themselves with individuals who challenge, inspire, and encourage them. The right environment fosters growth, while negative or toxic influences can drain your energy and cloud your judgment. Consider the story of Maya Thompson, a young entrepreneur who struggled to get her business off the ground. In her early years, she spent most of her time with people who doubted her abilities and criticized her ideas. Naturally, her confidence began to waver, and her motivation dipped. But everything changed when she joined a local business mastermind group. Surrounded by ambitious, supportive individuals, Maya began to see new perspectives, learn from others' experiences, and gain encouragement when challenges arose. Within a few years, her business thrived, and she credited much of her growth to the people who lifted her rather than pulled her down. The people you spend time with influence not only your mindset, but also your habits. If you surround yourself with individuals who prioritize growth, discipline, and positivity, your brain begins to absorb those behaviors. On the other hand, if you consistently interact with people who complain, doubt themselves, or indulge in negative thinking, your brain will start to adopt those same patterns. Your environment literally shapes the way you think, react, and approach life's challenges. Look at sports teams for another example. Successful teams are built not just on talent, but on chemistry, shared values, and mutual encouragement. Players push each other to improve, share strategies, and celebrate victories together. A toxic teammate, in contrast, can undermine morale, distract focus, and even decrease performance. This same principle applies to life outside of sports. The company you keep can either elevate your potential or diminish it. It's not only about professional growth. Your emotional and mental well-being is also affected. Positive, growth-oriented relationships provide support when you face setbacks, celebrate your achievements genuinely, and offer honest feedback that helps you improve. Negative influences, however, may bring unnecessary stress, comparisons, and doubts that limit your capacity to win. That's why winners choose their inner circle carefully. They understand that the people around them are a reflection of the life they are building. Think of it as tending a garden. If you plant seeds in fertile soil and water them consistently, they grow strong and healthy. But if you plant seeds in poor soil surrounded by weeds, growth is stunted. Your brain is like that seed, and the people you spend time with are the soil and environment in which it grows. Surround yourself with those who nourish your mind, inspire action, and push you toward excellence. Of course, this doesn't mean cutting off everyone who doesn't meet your standards. It's about balance and awareness. Seek mentors, friends, and colleagues who elevate your thinking, challenge you constructively, and celebrate your progress. Limit time with those who drain your energy, instill fear, or promote stagnation. By consciously curating your social environment, you are training your brain to thrive in a positive ecosystem, making success not just possible, but inevitable. So, my friends, if you want to train your brain to win, look closely at the people in your life. Ask yourself, are they lifting you higher, or are they holding you back? Success is rarely achieved alone, and the right company can make all the difference between stagnation and unstoppable growth. Now reflect, who in your life truly elevates you, and who might be silently limiting your potential? Are you willing to spend more time with those who inspire you to win? Training your brain to win is not about magic, luck, or waiting for the perfect moment. It's about taking deliberate actions every single day to strengthen your mind, sharpen your focus, and develop habits that support growth. From setting clear goals and embracing challenges to cultivating discipline and surrounding yourself with uplifting people, every choice you make shapes your mental power. Each point we discussed is a stepping stone. Combined, they create a powerful foundation for success that no one can take away from you. Remember, your brain is your most valuable tool. When you feed it with positive thoughts, challenge it with learning, and protect it with discipline, it begins to work for you, not against you. Every setback becomes a lesson, every challenge an opportunity, and every habit a building block toward the life you want to create. True winners don't wait for motivation to strike. They train their minds to respond with courage, creativity, and persistence, no matter the circumstances. So today, take a moment to reflect. What small step can you take right now to strengthen your mind? Whether it's embracing a challenge, learning something new, or choosing to spend time with people who elevate you, every action counts. Your journey toward winning begins with the choices you make in this very moment. Train your brain, nurture it, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Now ask yourself, are you ready to unlock the power of your mind and start winning today? Thank you for spending time with us today. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss motivational content that can truly change your life. We post videos designed to help you strengthen your mind, build powerful habits, and take consistent steps toward success. Turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know whenever we release new videos. Every video is carefully created to provide simple, practical tips that you can apply immediately to train your brain and elevate your life. We also focus on helping you improve your English while gaining motivation. So it's a win-win for both your mind and language skills. Share this video with friends or family who need a little inspiration today. Remember, personal growth is contagious. When you lift yourself up, you can inspire others to do the same. Leave a comment below and let us know which point from today's video you're going to apply first in your life. Together, let's keep learning, growing, and winning every day. Your journey towards success begins here, and we're thrilled to be part of it with you. Stay focused, stay positive, and keep training your brain to win